This episode of SpectreSoundStudios is brought to you by Distrokid.
How's it going, everyone? This is Brandon.
And this is Justin.
And we're coming to you live from Niagara Falls. Glenn was going to shoot viewers' comments out here, but he took a bit of a dip down the falls, so we've got an episode to shoot. Let's get right to it.
Hi Glenn, one question. Why Studio One? Is Reaper giving you some troubles? I'm asking because I'm learning to use it just now. Sorry for the English. Cheers from Brazil.
Well, as you can see, I actually survived. The guys were just fucking with you. But anyway, as per your question, the reason I wanted to learn Studio One was just for the sake of learning a new system. I'm not BB King where I've got my Lucille. I'm just, YouTube sound guy who wants to learn as much as possible about many different systems. I worked with Soft Studio for 10 years and decided to change. Not because I have any brand loyalty, but I just thought it was a skill worth having. And if you want to market yourself to prospective clients in your studio, you'd better learn more than one DAW and learn more than one way how to record. Extra skills means you're marketable and you'll fit in with somebody else's workflow. That way you can even go work in other studios that are based in different DAWs. I'd still recommend learning Pro Tools. Reaper's great, of course, but yeah, Studio One's definitely gaining some headway and it's definitely a skill worth learning. Never say no to learning a new system. Great question, though. All right, we're back in the studio now. We were doing a little road trip there with our good friend Justin Estacado, who helped out on the Marshall Chode demo. And we took him to Niagara Falls because he's from Nevada and had never seen it before. So, hey, it wasn't that far. Kind of one of the natural wonders of the world. Pretty damn cool. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Is 16 too late to start recording? I'm starting to think seriously about recording, but I fear I didn't jump on it soon enough, having only played around with Reaper for a few months and played guitar for a year.
Are you fucking joking? You're 16. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Dude, I didn't open my studio till I was 27. You've got a 9-year jump on me. Yeah, get to it, man. Seriously, you are never too old to start picking up a new skill. I say this to the guys in their 30s and 40s. Oh, do you think I should start recording? Yes! It is a skill worth learning. It's a skill worth having. 16 is a fantastic time to get started. Dude, stop sitting around asking me about it. Just get to it. Go learn something.
Hey Glenn, my boss wants me to join his band. Should I join? He said he'd give me a raise, but he is a dickhead.
Well, I can tell you your boss is a dickhead. If he is offering you more money to play in his personal band, I think that's breaking more than just a few labor laws. Do yourself a favor, get yourself a little voice recorder, and make sure to get that shit on tape when he tries to recruit you the next time, because I guarantee you've got a lawsuit on your hands, pal.
Here's a good question for you. What was the biggest recording mistake you've ever done?
Biggest mistake? I don't know. There's all kinds of them. Here's the thing. It's really easy to make a shit record. It's kind of difficult to make a good one. In 20 years of recording, I've made all kinds of terrible mistakes. And guess what? A lot of you guys will as well. That's one of the points of the show, is to help you guys avoid some of the many pitfalls you encounter. But if I could break it down to maybe the top three, it'd be number one, flat rates, because musicians will fuck you extremely hard just by taking up all of your time to in search of perfection that they're never going to find. So don't do flat rates. Number two, make sure you charge double for mix recalls. Same thing. If you offer free mix recalls, guess what? The band's going to want to tweak the mix endlessly, and nothing's ever going to be good enough. So make sure you charge them extra money for recalling the mix after they've already paid for the original. That way they're going to be happy with it. And the third biggest mistake, I'd say, was working with an early IDE RAID striping system. When it got desynchronized, I lost a couple of clients' projects. So imagine how much fun it is to call up the client and tell them, hey, guess what? All that work you put in is gone and we have to do it again. I don't know how the hell I managed to stay in business after that. That was an absolute nightmare scenario. And I've just run single drives ever since and back up regularly, and seems to work out pretty well so far. And since owning a PC since like 92, I think I've had one hard drive go bad on me in that time. So I think hard drive tech is a pretty safe bet. Just don't take it anywhere near a magnet, or get a solid state drive.
How common is it to use an active set for rhythm playing and passives for lead playing?
Dude, you're just overthinking that. Holy crap. Active for rhythm, passives for lead. You know what? Actives can sound great. Passives can sound great. It really doesn't matter. My suggestion would be work on songwriting. Work on your songwriting skills. Do vocal arrangements, that kind of shit. Get stuff sounding big and interesting. People always ask how they can sound unique. I'd be like, put more vocals in there, put more singing in there, put harmonies in there. That's why bands like Queen and Van Halen have such distinct sounds, because, they've got the different members of the band harmonizing together, and that gives them that interesting sound. And we don't get that anymore because everybody's just doing death metal grunting. Seriously, work on your songwriting, work on your skills, work on getting great performances down on tape. Stop worrying if you should use active or passive pickups, especially for different parts. That's definitely barking up the wrong tree. Write good songs instead. All right, everybody. This episode is sponsored by Distrokid, the service to put your music out to online retailers like iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Spotify, plus over 150 smaller online music retailers as well. It only costs $20 a year, and you keep 100% of your earnings. Distrokid also has lots of cool features, including instant verification on Spotify and change your image on Apple Music and iTunes. What's more is that they let you add credits and liner notes to stores and streaming services. You can now list musicians, contact info, social media profiles, and hundreds of other roles. They've also got the Teams function, which allows you to split your earnings automatically among your bandmates, and a cover song license only costs $12 a year. I use Distrokid to put my music out, and my friends do as well. It is a great service that is totally worth checking out. Go to distrokid.com/VIP/Spectre today and grab yourself a 7% discount. Follow the link in the description below. Now back to the show.
Hey Glenn, is there ever a reason for a singer to manually hold the mic while recording? Like how when a singer is performing live, they'll often move the mic further away when they're belting out a note or trying to hide their breathing. Is there any acoustic benefit to doing this way in a recording, or is it always best left to the engineer to adjust the levels?
Well, you guys might find this hard to believe, but I do want the singer to be comfortable in the studio. So if they're an off-the-stand kind of guy, I'll let them record that way generally. I've seen singers, just pulled out amazing vocal performances, going handheld, and then if we throw it up on a stand, they can't hit the same strength or anything like that because they've trained their body to be in more of a hunch to deliver the power, and when they're standing up straight, sometimes it just doesn't work. So just go with a handheld mic if that's what works. The trick is just make sure they don't cup that handheld mic. And if they can't help but cup it, make sure you've got a Heil PR35 on hand and give them that, because it's almost damn near impossible to cup. Another great idiot-proof mic is the Heil 550 DM. If you guys unscrew the capsule here, look. You grab it like so, the capsule's still way up here, so you've got to be extra special stupid to cup this and make it sound bad. They've deliberately designed it to be held in a comfortable fashion like this, so the critical point behind the mic here isn't being covered. Yes, you can go like that, but it's just not comfortable to grip that way. It's way more comfy like this, so this is a great mic to use as well. I had Randy Blythe from Lamb of God come in here back in 03, and we laid down some tracks, and first thing I asked him, are you an on-the-stand guy or an off-the-stand guy? He was definitely an off-the-stand kind of guy, so I handed him my 58, and away we went, and we got some great tracks, and he said how much he liked working that way. So there you go. Sometimes just having the singer comfortable can go a long way. And all you drummers who just started wanting, but you make me move my hat. Yes, that's so you sound good. Duh.
Hey Glenn, what if an artist wants to use autotune in your studio but as an effects? What would you say and or do?
Okay, the first thing I would say would be go buy the plugin, because guess what? I don't own it, and I'm not planning on buying it. And if you want to waste your money on that shit, that's your call, not mine. If they want to use it as an effect like that T-Pain thing, okay, that's one thing. If they want to use it as a performance enhancer, I'd say, you know what? Why don't you go to a studio down the road that works that way, who will gladly take your money and ruin your human performance.
Hey Glenn, my Catholic uptight parents wouldn't let me go see Slayer's concert in St. Louis. I'm really disappointed because now I'll never get to see Slayer ever, as this is their final tour. Can I do anything to prevent this in the future?
Okay, Jimmy, I've got a few pointers for you, but please bear in mind, proceed with caution. Even though you live in the United States and are guaranteed freedom of religion, that freedom doesn't seem to kick in until either you're 18 or have moved out of your parents' house. If you choose freedom of religion and you are a minor, you may be met with violent retribution from your family members, and you may be ostracized and find yourself homeless. So please, please proceed with caution if you're about to use any of this advice I give you. You said that your parents are Catholic and they kept you from going to a Slayer show. Ask them this. How many members of Slayer have ever raped a kid? Because the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania raped thousands of children. Thousands. Not a couple, not a few, thousands. It was systematic. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they covered it up. And your parents are trying to protect you from something at a Slayer concert. Last I checked, none of the members of Slayer are child molesters. Your parents have their priorities completely out of fucking whack. You can tell them you're never going to set foot into a Catholic church ever again because you don't think you should be supporting a worldwide pedophile protection ring. And tell them you don't feel safe going into a Catholic church, knowing what they've done to kids all across the globe. So yeah, next time you want to go to a concert, say, I'm going to this concert. You know why? Because nobody in that band's ever raped a kid. Can't say the same for the leaders of your religion now, can you?
Glenn isn't inspiring. Glenn, you're hands down the reason I bought a tube amp and a cab setup this year instead of a Fractal Audio AX8. I needed one amazing tone, not several hundred mediocre ones. Thanks again for helping me sound more like me and not a vanilla sausage of computerized guitar tones.
Well, hey there, Haunted S'mores. Thank you very much. Glad to see that's working out well for you. You didn't tell us what amp you got, but hey, whatever, man. Glad you're enjoying it. The thing is, I don't hate the axe effects. I think it's definitely got its place, especially on major touring acts and that kind of thing. I remember we were backstage at Shinedown a couple years back, and there were like 9 bands playing or something ridiculous like that. And everybody was either playing Fractal, Act Effects, or Kempers. And the reason is because they don't break down. But in a recording situation, yeah, absolutely. A tube amp is going to give you your own thing, especially because tubes have variations from tube to tube and, you know, can really help you find your own sound. So good for you. Hope you're enjoying it and hope it's working out well for you. Thanks again.
A lot of people will say freedom of speech still has consequences. I don't really think that's a fair argument for what goes on nowadays. Now the internet exists, doxing exists, swatting exists, mob mentality and ruining that person's life exists. Sure, it may have happened before the internet, but not like now. We're an outrage culture that gangs up on people and completely destroys their lives because of some shitty mistake they made in the past. Calling someone's work, for example, that's not consequences, that's harassment.
Oh, yeah, that's a total can of worms there. Here's the thing. I don't support the Westboro Baptist Church, but I do support their right to say whatever the hell they want and, you know, be annoying assholes if they so choose. That's the consequence of free expression. Yes, that's the right to say things that other people don't like. You know what? They're just words. Get over it. If somebody says something you don't like, you'll live. You know, there's a difference between threatening somebody, though, and just calling them names, obviously. We also need to learn that a little bit of moderation goes a very long way. Just because somebody says something you don't like doesn't mean you need to jump to conclusions about that person's character. But yes, I definitely support someone's right to say things I might not like. The thing is, I can always counter-argue, and that is what makes free expression great. Don't shut down, discuss. Because when we stop opposing viewpoints, the discussion ends and indoctrination begins, and we can no longer think for ourselves.
Oh, and then there's the thing where you need to summon an assistant and they're nowhere to be found. It's almost like they don't want my filthy customer money or something.
Of course, you're talking about my end of retail video. Oh boy, did that ever get some interesting comments. Apparently I'm an asshole who just goes looking for that sort of thing. Yeah, I hate shopping. I really do. Well, what about the people who work retail? I used to work retail. I used to work at a Black's camera store. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest job in the world, but I didn't go out of my way to be an idiot either. But here's a little trick for all you guys. If you are having a hard time getting customer service, if you can't get anyone to come up to you, light up a cigarette in the store. Seriously, you get 30 people jumping on you immediately to tell you you can't smoke that there. So put it out and say, oh, by the way, can you help me with this? Nobody wants to help, but everybody wants to be right. It's kind of like, you know, asking a question on the internet. It's very hard to get an answer sometimes, but a great way to get an answer is just to answer the question wrong and watch all the smart people come in and tell you you're wrong. Believe me, I get it happening all the time on this show when I get something wrong.
I worked for the worst buy close to 2 decades ago, and this was painfully accurate. Sad it hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to change is they're going to be out of business in 5 years because they're going to get destroyed by Amazon.
Glenn, I don't get it. If you're shooting out high-end gear versus budget gear, can we actually hear the difference on YouTube? What bitrate is YouTube audio? I never really thought about it before, but I kind of assumed it would be something similar to 128 kilobits MP3. Is that good enough to hear the difference between budget top-shelf gear?
You know, I've never really looked into it. I've just kind of, used my hearing. And yes, YouTube is definitely good enough to hear the difference. I think even with a 128 kilobit MP3, you can hear the difference between good tone and bad tone. Go put on some early punk records and go put on Corrosion and Conformity Blind. You'll hear exactly what I mean.
Glenn, you should read a few news articles with some commentary on your YouTube channel. I'd love to see the fucking news with Fricker.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence about that one. What do you guys think? Do you guys think you'd like to see a news show on here? Maybe we could do a couple test episodes. You tell me. Might be fun, might be kind of difficult. Truth be told, I started a news show a few years ago with the Metal Sucks guys. It was called The Week in Metal. It is still in production. I'm no longer hosting, obviously, but that's still coming up every week or two, and it's pretty cool. one of the reasons why I stopped doing it is because I just got so busy with SpectreSoundStudios here. And this is the honest truth is I don't know if I'm tough enough to do the news, to be honest with you, because I thought we were going to do fun stories about bands being idiots, and it became more like, bad things happening to good people, car accidents and bus rollovers, and this person killed and this person died. And it was just like, I had to do the story about when Lemmy stopped playing in the middle of a set and walked off because he was suffering so badly, and that was just utterly heartbreaking. So hats off to the Metal Sucks guys. Those guys are incredible. I don't know how they manage to do what they do every single day, but more power to them. Those guys are just simply awesome. Again, if you guys want to see me do a news show, it might be kind of fun. Let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear back from you guys.
Why do you have contests that showcase studio skills? It's not like your channel is about studio skills. Yeah, guitarist. It's not always about you. Shut up and go practice your solo face.
Thank you very much, Billy. That was, I couldn't have said it any better, so I had to repeat that. By the way, the Sucks 2018 contest is still happening, so yes, we should have hit the deadline by now, and we should be reviewing submissions by now. So if you don't know what that is, check out Sucks 2018 and check out some awesome submissions from you guys, the viewers. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Distrokid, the world's best way to get your music online and out to the world. And before you go, don't forget to check out my free drum recording cheat sheet. It is a condensed version of a drum recording thread I did on the Andy Sneap forum back in the mid-2000s, and a lot of it still rings true today. I've updated it and included new images and that sort of thing, and it's absolutely free. The link is in the description below. Anyway, I am out of here. You guys have a magnificent weekend, and hope you're having fun back at school.